Domain admin. I have free reign. I can turn off your defenses. I can hide my tracks. I can disguise my communications. I'll be selling your data months before you even discover I was here. Your dark space belongs to me. Owned.
SecOps is on to you.
How'd I lose admin?
We turned on the lights in our dark space. Now we're hunting you, and you can't hide.
How can they see me?
Reveal X exposes your every move. We've detected your lateral movement.
But I turned off logging.
Your privileges have been revoked.
My exfil.
Sorry, you've been quarantined.
So that video is a little tongue-in-cheek. We love that corny hacker movie stuff, but Darkspace is a real problem that the enterprise needs to address. So what is Darkspace? I know you're not going to tell me this because, well, you're watching this video on your computer and we can't actually interact, but think about this question for a second. Do you have anything in your environment that you can't see? Applications you can't log, encrypted payloads that you can't decrypt, any data silos, any devices you can't instrument with agents, or anything in the cloud? All of that comprises your dark space. Most organizations now have tools, IDS, IPS, perimeter-based solutions that can detect and act upon the traffic that's coming in from the outside across the perimeter of their network. These are things that the bad guys can get around. MITRE's list of common attack patterns for bypassing defenses includes stuff like antivirus, host intrusion prevention, file monitoring, signature-based detection, log analysis. These are all defenses that the bad guys can get past. And then once they're in the dark space, that's when the scary stuff really starts to happen. So let's shed some light on the dark space. What's going on in there? These are actions that every attacker has to do to achieve their goal of stealing or destroying your data. Things like lateral movement, privilege escalation, unauthorized access, reconnaissance, command and control. So these behaviors provide a signal that an attack is underway, if you can see them. But they're hard to detect, and they're especially hard to detect fast, especially if you don't have good data sharing between your operations teams, or you're relying on weak allies like logs and agents for investigation and detection. But you know this, right? You're already living this dream. So what do we do about it? We think the answer is network traffic analysis, and analysts at some of the major research firms are getting excited about this topic as well. NTA is an emerging category that uses real-time data, we call it wire data, to fuel better analytics, and it relies on machine learning-driven insights to illuminate the dark space faster and more efficiently than ever before. This is a fundamental capability that's missing from most SecOps teams. Several generations of tools have used packets and flows to derive insights from the network to try to detect and prevent security threats. And these were good solutions, but they still leave huge visibility gaps, and they're slow and noisy. Network traffic analysis has the opportunity to provide speed and conclusive evidence that just isn't available from these legacy data sources and solutions. And that's why NTA is growing as a category, but it also means there's going to be a lot of new entrants into this market, and it's worth learning how to vet those vendors quickly if you're in the market for an NTA solution. So we've developed something that we call the shiny object test for network traffic analysis. These are questions that you should ask any vendor to determine whether they're the real deal or whether they're just chasing after a new category to cover up their shortcomings as a product. These questions are, does it scale? I'm talking about 100 gigabits per second of actual analytics. Line rate analysis is a must for any serious contender in NTA. Question 2, does it decrypt? Soon enough, all the data inside a corporate enterprise will be encrypted. The ability to decrypt that for analysis is absolutely required for SecOps teams to get the visibility that they need to detect and investigate threats. Question 3, can it automate investigations? Can it automatically detect and classify everything on your network and analyze the behavior so you've got an up-to-date inventory of everything that's happening? Without that kind of visibility, how could you detect or investigate a threat? Question 4, is the intelligence real or artificial? Now, AI is a buzzword. There's a lot of AI and ML washing that goes on in the security space, but there's value in systems that use it well. And you have to ask, is the data timely? Are the models updated regularly? Is it based on data from your own environment? Getting real insight from machine learning requires a foundation of the best data available. And then finally, the real acid test is, does it solve actual problems for your security operations center? So this brings us to the real acid test, use cases. Now there's hundreds of vendors out there that'll tell you that they can help you detect and investigate and respond to threats faster. Count us in. We all want to solve your pain and suffering, of which there is plenty in security operations world now. We're fresh out of pixie dust and Cambridge mathematicians. What we have is proven technology and a new approach that can make your SOC fundamentally more effective at investigating and responding to threats. RevealX network traffic analysis detects threats in real time, with extra focus on the highest risk threats against your most critical assets. On top of that, RevealX uses that rich data to help improve your security posture, so you can go from reactive to proactive, so that you're dealing with fewer threats and prioritizing them more effectively. The goal of RevealX is twofold: to help you see more than you could ever see before, but also to help you understand more than you ever could before. It helps you focus on the threats that matter so you can be faster and more effective at taking care of your most critical assets. It's easy to say this, harder to prove it, but we've got some pretty compelling evidence. A recent survey conducted independently by IDC of real ExtraHop customers confirmed that when you look into the dark space using ExtraHop, you get faster and more effective at addressing threats and responding to them before damage is done. Now, that's a big claim, and we'd understand if you were skeptical. So thanks for listening, and please come by our website, www.extrahop.com, to view a live demo and experience the power of ExtraHop RevealX network traffic analysis for yourself.